Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today for our second free online training webinars on e-commerce marketing. We're so very pleased to have partnered with StraightArrow, who are a digital marketing and creative agency based in the Philippines. They have been our partners since last year and have put together this wonderful 4 courses for you. So I'll hand over now to Christine. Christine is from StraightArrow. She's going to get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way and get the ball rolling.
Thank you, Beck. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to today's session. I hope you're all safe wherever you are during this challenging time. So we're very excited to be speaking with you today for another hour of learning. Learning never stops. So now we're going digital, and I think throughout this, through this session, we hope that we can get a lot of insights, especially for your business. So this is the second of our 4 sessions with NRA. And before we deep dive, just a few reminders as we go through the next hour. So first one, please do take notes, jot down your questions as we have allotted the Q&A session towards the end. Have your notebooks, your pen and papers ready. Take note of any tactics that you think would be worth exploring for your e-commerce website. So this will also be a fun learning session. So we have prepared some poll questions throughout the next hour. So the polls will just pop up on your screen. And then you can just select your answers throughout whenever that pops up. And then if you're watching this webinar from your desktop or your laptop, so we recommend that you switch into full screen mode, or so there's a click on enter full screen button. And then so that way you would be able to view the slides better. And then please also make sure that it's the slides or the screen that you're seeing now that's maximized on your device. And then later on, we'll also be sharing some links to free resources and landing pages, so that could help you in your e-commerce website tactics. So in the next hour, what you'll be learning are, number 1, why optimization is crucial for your e-commerce website and how you'll benefit from this. And then we'll also be tackling conversion tactics, not only for your homepage of your e-commerce site, but as well as your product pages. So we're going to show, our speaker will be showing some examples as far as how these tactics are to be executed on your website. And then, as mentioned earlier, we'll have a Q&A portion towards the end of the session. And then you can just type in your sessions your questions on the Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. So before I turn you over to today's speaker, so just a short background about us, like what Beck mentioned earlier. So we're an outsourcing company specializing in creative and digital marketing support. We've been helping businesses in the US, the UK, and Australia for almost 10 years now, since 2010. So last September, we entered into a marketing partnership with NRA to be able to help NRA members scale their retail businesses online. So one of StraightArrow's expertise is setting up retail businesses on e-commerce platforms in as short as 3 days. So if you have an online strategy and need to launch an online shop quickly within 3 days, so we can help you with that. But if you do not have an e-commerce strategy and would like to learn more, so you're in the right Zoom meeting. So especially for today, so we've engaged with our e-commerce expert and owner of withSmallBusiness, Claudia North, to be able to share her expertise and the resource for you. Okay, so hi, Claudia. So Claudia's been in the digital marketing and strategy space for more than 25 years now. So she has worked with clients across different countries and continents, so Australia, Asia, North America, and India. So she has also founded 2 e-commerce businesses, so one of which is withSmallBusiness. So I will turn you over now to Claudia. Hey, Claudia.
Thank you, Christine, and thank you, Rebecca, for the opportunity to present these webinars to your valued NRA members, particularly at this time. So just a little bit about withSmallBusiness. Our mission is to significantly reduce the failure of small businesses globally by 2025. We aim to achieve this by empowering small business owners just like yourself to grow sustainably so that you can succeed over the longer term. So we support small businesses through a low-cost subscription model, which gives you not only access to our e-commerce marketing best practices, but more importantly, unlimited access to marketing advice and guidance whenever you need it, so that we're with you on your e-commerce journey and so that you don't have to go it alone. So to get started, I have a question. So have you executed any CRO tactics on your website? Before we begin our webinar today, I would like to understand from the audience, have you or your web developer executed any conversion rate optimization tactics on your website? If you could all please hop into the chat feature and message us a yes or a no or an unsure. It will just assist me in tailoring the webinar today to your needs. So I'll just give you all a few moments. So have you executed any CRO tactics? Hi, Di, nice to see you back again. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Carrie. Okay, great. So look, in the main, it looks like most people haven't executed any CRO tactics. So I'm quite excited about that because I think that there's going to be so much for you to learn today and to take away from our session. So thanks everybody for participating in that question. Okay, so why conversion rate optimization? Today, our topic is on optimizing your existing e-commerce website to drive growth. Before we get started on why actionable tactics that we have installed for you today, we would like to do a brief refresher on what is conversion rate optimization and why it's important for e-commerce growth. So the reason that conversion rate optimization is so important when it comes to increasing your revenue is because it focuses on various tactics that extracts more value from your existing traffic to your current website. So for example, if you're turning 1 out of 100 of your visitors into a paid customer, if you implement some on-site tactics to make your customers' journey smoother and more engaging on your website, then you could increase this by just 1% or by 1 additional customer. And by doing this, you're actually converting 2 out of 100 of your visitors to paying customers, which is effectively doubling your revenue. So noting we're not doing anything in terms of increasing traffic, paying more for paid media to increase your revenue. We're just changing and optimizing some tactics on your website that can double your revenue. And this is one of the reasons why I love conversion rate optimization. So in summarizing, optimizing your conversion rate, or in other words, increasing your current conversion rate, in reality actually becomes a multiplier of all your other marketing efforts. So this is why it's such an important tactic in e-commerce marketing. So what is CRO? CRO is actually a process. So at a high level, the process looks something like this. Firstly, if you can use various tools. You can use free tools like Google Analytics, for example. You can identify in your customer's journey any roadblocks or breaks where they're actually falling off, where they're not continuing their journey through to cart and through to purchase. Once you identify these breaks, you then want to hypothesize some potential solutions that might stop your visitors' break in their customer journey to ultimately buying your product. Once you've identified those potential solutions, then we want to come up with some creative ways of actually testing those. Finally, once you've tested your hypothesis and you have a clear indication on which is the right solution that is improving or reducing the breaks in your customer journeys, then you want to go and roll that out across your website. CRO overall, it's an ongoing process. It's not a set and forget tactic. However, it's certainly one that I recommend investing your time in sooner rather than later, because once you can stabilize your conversion rate at a good level, then all your marketing efforts, you actually see the reward in that, in your revenue coming in. So what CRO is not? So it's definitely not a list of best practices. It's not a magic bullet. It's not quick to execute, and it's not a one-size-fits-all solution for all websites and industries. In saying that, our aim is to provide small business owners like you with a simplified approach to CRO to lay the foundations for improving your conversion rate and your revenue both in the short term, so in the next couple of months, but also giving you a sustainable growth for the longer term. So I urge you to take notes of the tactics that you can implement on your site from today's session to improve your customer journey flow and ultimately your revenue. So to start off, we're just going to have a look at the conversion rates by industry. In last week's webinars, those that were joining me last week, we touched on the conversion rate benchmark according to a study by Shopify, and their benchmark across the board was about 1.75 based on their research. I thought this week that I would share a little more detail on the ranges for key e-commerce industries. So a note on these industry conversion rates, remember they are an average. So if your website is converting at around the average mark, then you're underperforming. So take some comfort if you have a look at your industry here and you're sitting somewhere there in the middle, that's awesome. The great news as well is that we can implement some conversion rate optimization tactics to actually get you above average. We want to be right at the top end. So moving on, we can actually now get started with our optimization tactics. So we're going to start today with the fundamental CRO tactics for your homepage. So some of these tactics you might find are very straightforward, logical and rational. However, having worked with many small businesses over time, I can tell you that many of these have not been executed, and as simple and as logical as they are, sometimes we just don't think about them from a customer journey perspective. So I thought today it would be great to go through a case study to demonstrate these tactics so that you can see how somebody that's doing it really well, how they execute it. They certainly make it look very simple. And that's what I wanted to share with you today, that we can really simplify your CRO tactics for your longer term growth. So today I've chosen Boom by Cindy Joseph as our case study. They are amazing in terms of their best practice approach to their website and their e-commerce marketing. They have a phenomenal results in their revenue and their growth over the past 10 years, and they actually only have 16 SKUs in stock. So Boom is an e-commerce cosmetic and makeup line that made $20 million in revenue last year alone. Ezra Firestone, he's actually the CEO and the co-founder of Boom, and he made $65 million in e-commerce sales over the past 3 years. Ezra is also the founder and the CEO of a company called Smart Marketer, a company that helps people build profitable e-commerce businesses. So he's certainly worth looking up. So keep all of this in mind and let's see how they do it. So for a little bit of fun, I thought that we would like to run a poll. So just looking at the top section of their homepage, can you guess how many CRO tactics we can identify on this homepage? So you've got two choices. You can choose 12, which certainly sounds like a lot, or you can choose 9. So I'll just give you a moment to make your selection. So the polling feature should have just popped up for you, and we'll reveal the correct answers to you a little later. Let's give you another minute. Okay, thank you everybody. Okay. So thanks for participating. Now let's crack into tactic number 1. Okay, so keep your notepads and pens nearby. My first question is, are your products or services and prices shown on your homepage? So as I mentioned earlier, yes, you may laugh, and this might seem like an obvious question. However, all too often, this is not the case practiced by small e-commerce businesses. So you can see here, just below the fold, they've got their best sellers and products and prices listed. Moving on to tactic number 2. Are your products, the ingredients in your products or your service elements and other additional information linked from your home page to another page? Can you spot where Boom have this information? Yep, right on the home page, as I said, just below the fold. We can see here on the Boom homepage that they have the beginning of their product description outlined with a read more link with enticing visitors to click on. They've got engaging content there so that visitors will click on this content and go straight through to their product page. When you click on the read more, boom, one click and their visitors are already on their product page. You can see that each of their products displayed on the home page links through to a specific product page that is designed to convert their visitors. They move their visitors down the funnel very quickly and easily. As you can see from their home page, you can see the products, the key products. They can click once and already they're deep down in the funnel with all the content that they need to learn about the product. Their product page contains lots more information. They have testimonials, they have ingredients, they have prices, the size, etc. But we'll touch a little bit more on the product pages a little bit later. So tactic number 3 for our home page. Is there enough white space around each section on your website? So white space is actually really important when it comes to web design because you can use it to improve readability and website performance. Not to mention, white space is part of the less is more and the make it simple mantra that has been proven to be effective when designing for e-commerce websites and sales funnels. So you can see Boom have lots of white space here, as well as when we scroll down their page, it remains very clean. Even though we call it white space, it doesn't mean the actual white space must be white. The blank space can be filled with any colour as long as it's free of any elements like text or images. So you can see here that Boom use light pink, they use light grey, and they use white space. White space is an important element as it guides the user's attention to the exact elements that you want your visitors to focus on. So remember that your website is a conversion tool, it's not a brochure. So utilising these tactics, you can see how Boom direct their visitors directly through their sales funnel. So tactic number 4, call to actions. So is your call to action above the fold? Do you have multiple call to actions used to cater for different audiences and different products or service pages? And are your call to actions clearly marked and do they stand out? So just having a look at the home page here, at a glance, how many call to actions do you think you can see? The answer is 3. So Boom have done a fantastic job of 3 call to actions visible for visitors at different stages of their engagement with the brand. So we can see there's the top one, which is join the Boom Club. We've got the second, see the tutorial, and we've got the third, shop Boom. So if we step back and think about what Boom are trying to do with each of these 3 call to actions. The first one, join the club. So what is the mindset of the audience that clicks this call to action? These people want to understand what is the brand about, what does the community offer, can I relate to joining the community? Our second call to action on see the tutorial, the mindset of this audience is that they want to know more about what the products are like. And then finally, shop Boom, well, this audience is already interested in purchasing, I'm ready to buy now. So cleverly, Boom have able to engage 3 different audiences with 3 different engagement levels and including the regular customers with 1 click right on the top section of their homepage. So tactic number 5, is your buy now or shop button above the fold? Yes, again, a very simple and logical tactic that again isn't always well executed. So it's definitely worth double checking on your website. And I would say it's particularly important to check your website across devices. So if your website was designed desktop first, many of these features may not be as effective on your mobile site. And as mobile commerce is now approximately 50% of all the e-commerce market, it's really important that these tactics are utilised both across mobile as well as on your desktop. And many of the clients that I have actually have up to 80% of their visitors from mobile. So please double check these tactics later on across your mobile device, your tablet, as well as your desktop. So tactic number 6, is your brand message above the fold? And what does your brand stand for? Is your brand message clear, and does it resonate with your audience? Boom does a fantastic job of this also. They actually communicate it in 2 key places. So they utilise the functional header above the main navigation bar and clearly communicate what their brand is about. It's about women, it's about beauty, and it's about time. A lot of e-commerce sites actually use this top header section for functional messages such as shipping, wholesale logins, etc. But Boom have very cleverly decided to utilise this critical real estate for their key brand message. Additionally, they support the brand message slightly further down, with Boom being, the first pro-age cosmetic line for women of every generation. Cindy Joseph, who's a makeup artist and turned supermodel, has created a line in cosmetics especially for you. Boom is for women who want to reveal their genuine beauty with an honest and realistic approach. So between those 2 messages, you get a really strong sense of what the brand actually stands for and what they're about. So moving on to tactic number 7. So do you have a pop-up on your website to gather email addresses, or on an email sign-up form? And then if so, do you actually have an offer that you're outlining something that they can get in return for sharing their email address with you? Again, Boom have a pop-up offering, and they actually offer a 10% discount on the visitor's order. Last week, I actually touched on pop-ups, and I showed an image of the go-to pop-up, which certainly has a very interesting approach, which I thought I would just share again. They have this fantastic little pop-up that says, "Website pop-ups are the absolute worst. Sorry, the digital marketing monsters made us. They think you guys actually want to sign up to our emails about new products, pre-sales, limited offers, etc. Ha ha ha, as if." So they're very cleverly used a way to give you the sense of their brand's personality through the pop-up. And they're actually doing this because, as with many digital marketing tactics, there is always debate. And you may have heard of obtrusive or interruptive marketing, basically marketing tactics that interrupt your customer's journey. So go-to skincare understand the benefits of having an email pop-up capture form on their website. And even though the jury's out, should you have one, shouldn't you have one, you're interrupting your customer's journey, they're actually having fun with it and getting you across their brand personality as well. So number 8, do you have trust factors and social proof on your homepage? So when we talk about trust factors and social proof, when somebody comes to your website for the first time and they're scrolling down, they're understanding what your brand is about, they can have a look at your community, have a look at your products. Once they start to get interest in your product, the next thing they're going to do is want to get some trust and comfort around going to the next stage. So things such as reviews, testimonials, industry seals, as seen logos, etc., are a great way to give them confidence and comfort about delving deeper into your brand. Just as we scroll down the homepage, as you can see, Boom have here, see what people are saying. That's their customer testimonials. Excuse me one minute. We can see that they also have trust factors with the below symbols in the grey section there. So they've got things like healthy and safe ingredients, no animal testing, and 100% satisfaction guaranteed. So they're really, really strong trust factors. Most best practice really ideally is to have 5 trust factors. So they've sort of smudged that a little bit with their other 2 icons. which certainly give weight about having extra value to drive trust and for social proof. But when you have a look at what they are, so pro-age cosmetics and skincare to reveal your natural beauty. So that's probably less of a trust factor. However, they're trying to give you some more confidence. And they've also got loved by our customers. So again, they've got, I think it's about 75,000 customers there. So that definitely does give some proof and comfort. They're a little bit more lightweight than the other ones, but you can see that you can actually fudge a couple of those if you've only got, say, 3 strong sort of trust factors or badges that you can currently utilise based on where your business is at in its growth. So tactic number 9, is your value proposition outlined on your homepage? And what makes your company different? So let's see how Boom is differentiating themselves and their value proposition. Boomsticks, 10-minute makeup. It's their product, Boomsticks. That's the differentiator, as well as obviously the 10-minute makeup. Now, I had a little bit of a giggle when I saw the 10-minute makeup. I'm not sure who of our audience has seen the movie There's Something About Mary, but if you've seen it, there's actually a scene about the 8-minute ab workout when the hitchhiker hops in the car. And they're discussing the 8-minute workout, and the hitchhiker actually decides that he's going to start his own business, and it's going to be called 7-minute abs. So I did have a little giggle when I saw the 10-minute makeup. So if you want a business idea, maybe come out with the 9-minute makeup. Okay, so then Boom then entices you with a question, which is basically they get asked a lot, how do we use these boomsticks? So natural human behaviour, I want to know, how exactly do you use these boomsticks? And that actually takes them through one click to read our tutorial about how to find out how to apply our 3 sticks. One click, and here we are. We're on their page dedicated to their value proposition, which again is a very well structured funnel to educate you about why you want to buy this product. I certainly know that when I was exploring this website that I am completely convinced that I want to buy the boomsticks. They really do a fantastic job. So before I go to the next slide, I know that we had most of our audience actually said that we would find 9 CRO tactics just on that small section of the homepage, or just on the homepage. However, the answer is 12. So I will go on and take you through the next 3 tactics that we can find on that homepage. So our tactic number 10 is your shopping cart icon visible. Yes, again, maybe a very obvious question, definitely worth a check on all devices as well. It's not only best practice to have your cart in the top right-hand corner of your website, but also to have shop as the first item in your navigation bar. So as you can see, Boom have shop in their first nav bar on the menu, as well as the cart. Tactic number 11. Do you have clear customer service links such as a call number and or live chat? So live chat is a very strong tool to increase not only your conversion rate, but it has many other benefits, including things like answering your customers' questions before they actually become hesitations. Live chat also gives valuable insights to you about your customers' behaviour. It humanises your e-commerce store, and live chat also will save you time as well as your customers' time. And it definitely increases revenue, because if somebody is on your website, they have a question, they can get a response, they can continue down the customer journey to purchasing, as opposed to thinking, I'll come back later, I'll send an email, I'll have a look another time. Many small business owners that I've worked with do have hesitations about setting up live chat, because they are usually wearing 11 or 12 hats. They're very busy people, and to have more pressure of having to answer live chat, is a little daunting. I would recommend it absolutely increases revenue. It definitely gives you insights, better understanding about your customers, the questions that they have, which will also give you tips on some things you might tweak on your homepage when you notice consistent questions coming through. So it is definitely worth the investment. You certainly can have away from, offline message that says, I'll get back to you within the next 24 hours. I absolutely love the business owners to have a photo of themselves on the live chat and actually personalize the standalone message if you do actually set up your live chat. So highly recommended. As you can see here, boom, once again, they have their customer service little pink bar here on every page. Everywhere you go, it pops up in the corner. It's not just a homepage thing. Wherever you are, it pops up. Once you start to get more developed with your live chat as well, you can actually start to do some automated responses about regular questions that come through, which will also reduce, obviously, your time on responses. And they also have a phone number. Again, if you can have your phone number there, it definitely increases sales, accessibility, personalisation, etc. But I would certainly advise on having a live chat on your website. Okay, and for our lucky last homepage tactic, so tactic number 12, do you have social media icons on your homepage so that users can join your community? So as you can see here, boom, definitely have them. They have them in their bottom footer. So again, social icons aren't just about joining your community. A significant number of new visitors will go to your social channels to get a better sense of your brand and what you stand for. Often visitors, new visitors I'm talking about, will come to a website, they'll have a look around, they'll like what they see reviews, they get some comfort, but they will definitely go to social to have a look. How long have you been around? What kind of things do you post? What is the brand about? What are your values, etc. So a really critical piece, particularly for increasing conversion rate for new customers to your website. So as I said, we can now go back to answering the poll question. How many CRO tactics could we identify on the Boom homepage? And as I said, the answer was 12. So most of our audience, again, thank you to everybody who participated. Most people said 9. So it's pretty crazy when you look at just this section of the Boom homepage, how cleverly they have actually implemented all of those tactics, which is testament to their what was it, $25 million in revenue on 16 SKUs just last year. Pretty crazy, but possible. Okay, so believe it or not, that was 12 tactics just for your homepage. As I mentioned earlier, we would look at some product page optimization tactics. So we have 5 tactics, and these are ones that you can specifically apply to your product page that will help increase your conversion rate. So if you can take any of those tactics from the Boom homepage case study and apply them and get one click through to your product page and have a product page dedicated to each product, here's some tactics that you can certainly apply that will help increase your conversion rate to increase your revenue. So our next tactic. So tactic number 13. So are your products or services filtered into categories? So you can see here that Boom have 3 product categories. I'd probably say 2, and then they've sort of got an add-on with their bags. 1, they've got their Boom sticks. You can buy all 3 together, or you can buy them singly. And they have moisturizers and cleansers. Aside from that, they've got their Boom bags to put your Boom products into. So they've just got 3 categories, but having categories certainly helps your visitors choose the product that they're looking for and get to their product a whole lot quicker. Tactic number 14. Do you have a photo gallery for each of your products or services? So we thought we would throw in one last poll. What do you think is the optimal number of images for your photo gallery? So we'll pop up the poll feature, and if you just want to have a think about, we've got 2 options, so 3. So would you have 3 images? Is that the optimum number in your photo gallery on your product page, or is the answer greater than 6? Okay, thank you, everybody. Well, that response. Okay, so the answer is actually 6 or more. Most people selected 3. It's funny because when I first heard this, I thought that was ridiculous. I thought that was too much. I was like, why? That's just too much. However, if you can have a look here, Boom actually have 12 images in their product gallery. So as you can see on some of the examples of the images from their product gallery, just on the left-hand side there, you go, how can I have that many different angles or views of my one product on this product page? Well, these guys do a fantastic job of showing you just how you can do that. So the first one is the product actually packaged, how you would receive it when you ordered it. The second one, they have the lid off the product. The third one, you can see they've actually rubbed the boom sticks onto a surface so you can actually see what the consistency in the actual product itself looks like. The next one they've done on your skin, so you can see how the product actually applies on the skin. They've also got multiple target audiences and ages. They've also got another one of their product with the add-on, so the boom bag, so that you can buy the bundle, etc., etc. So they've got 12, so they do a fantastic job. I mean, as we know, shopping online, particularly in beauty, is challenging to get people to purchase a product that they haven't seen in store and tested and tried. For these guys to actually do the sales that they're doing, this is how they're doing it, because the experience that they're giving you online, giving their visitors online, is so thorough. So tactic number 15, so on our product page again, do you have additional information about your products or services on a dedicated product or service page? So just as I was mentioning, they have a dedicated page for each of their products. So Boom do a fantastic job again here on the additional product information. So if you scroll down the page, starting at the top, you've got a testimonial which actually use as the product header, which is very clever. They outline that this is a very popular product. They then go into the product description. They have the price, including the savings. Under that, you can see the trust factor with a 4.7 star rating. And further down, they have social proof. So in terms of that flow, for somebody that's interested in buying the boom sticks, you know, you've got the testimonial, I've got the social proof. Wow, this is the most popular product. So this is really, you know, I'm interested, I'm on this. I want to understand more about the product. Tell me about, you know, the ingredients and all of that kind of stuff. What's the price? Wow, there's a savings. Awesome. Oh my God, 4.7 stars. And then as we go down, you'll see social proof. So you can just see how it's so encouraging and the way they're taking people down their sales funnel. So tactic number 16, do you have product reviews and or video testimonials on your product page? So again, as I mentioned earlier, in terms of testimonials, they have very cleverly used one for, you know, the description of their product. You know, I'm 72, not exaggerating when I say these are the absolute best products I have ever used. You know, they are. So what an awesome, you know, testimonial or headline to lead into your product. Also, once you scroll down on Boom's dedicated product page, you can see there's the video there on the left-hand side of a woman talking about the product. And then scrolling further down, they have further ratings, reviews, and testimonials for each and every product. So tactic number 7, do you have product service videos on your product service page? So before we were just talking about video testimonials and ratings. Now we're talking specifically about videos on your product. So product videos are really, really important. As you can see here, Boom do product videos. They're important because they give the customer a better sense of understanding your product. So it gives you a better feel of seeing your product in real life if they're in a store. It also builds trust in your brand. Videos can also assist with improving SEO positioning, and they can increase customer engagement and can be posted across your social media channels as well, obviously. And videos can also assist product positioning in your customer's lifestyle by the way you do your shoot, by additional elements, by your voiceovers, your music, etc. It just actually taps further into the customer's lifestyle in terms of engaging them into your brand and your product. Okay, so that's all of our tactics for homepage and product page optimization. We've actually just added in here a couple of things on how you can get help on your conversion rate tactics after this session. So as I mentioned last week, if you actually go to my website, which is withSmallBusiness.com, you can sign up to our free e-commerce marketing best practice checklists. In those checklists, there is actually a conversion rate optimization section, which covers the tactics that I've talked about today, but not just those tactics, the tactics that I talked about last week, and also some tactics that are coming up in the webinar sessions in the next couple of weeks. So they're free, sign up, they're all listed there, and a good reference for you when auditing your website on your CRO. Additionally, we've actually offered just exclusive for the NRA members a free half-hour session with me. So if you would like to book a session, there's actually a Calendly link that the guys are going to drop into the chat right now, as well as I think they'll email it to you post the session. So you can click on the Calendly link, it'll take you to this page. Select a day and time that suits you. If you want to have a chat with me, happy to talk about any of the tactics from last week, any of the tactics today that you might have any questions about, or anything in relation to e-commerce marketing that I can assist in with your business. Okay, so just leading into our question and answers. If anybody has some questions that they would like to ask me, I am available. And actually you can see in the chat there, thank you, Christine, she's dropped in the Calendly link for anybody to save and to book a meeting with me. Okay, so first question we have here, if we were to prioritise, do we start with making the tactic changes to our homepage or to our top performing product pages? Thank you for that question. I would say definitely your homepage. Basically, traffic will arrive at your homepage first, so you want to optimise that first and start getting the flow through to your product pages. So definitely focus on the homepage tactics first. Okay, any other questions? Oh, okay, here we go. The phone listed on our site is a mobile. Should this be a landline? No, absolutely not. Any phone number is a good phone number. So that is fantastic that you put your mobile phone on there. When people see that, it just gives them a whole lot more comfort and confidence that you are a real person and that you are available for them to talk about their product. So absolutely, well done for that. And no, keep your mobile phone number, that's fine. Okay, another question, thank you. Is there a CRO assessment tool that we can run on our website? And if yes, what are my favourites? Okay, this is a great question. There are a number of different tools that you can use to assist you with CRO on your website. They fall into different categories. So one would be data collection and analytics tools. One would be A/B and multivariate testing. Another one would be research tools. And then the final would be wireframing and prototyping tools. So the last two, I would say, are more complex CRO tools that you would want to use when you're in advanced stages of growth. But in terms of small business tools, definitely data collection and analytics tools. Google Analytics, it's free, 80% of all websites globally use Google Analytics. So that is definitely the #1 tool. There's also tools for your website such as Crazy Egg, Hotjar, and StraightArrow have actually developed a fantastic product called Heaply, or heatlyanalytics.com is where you can find it. It's basically a website heat map tool developed, as I said, by StraightArrow, and it helps you improve your website for better lead conversion by collecting visual data based on how visitors behave on your pages. So it definitely assists you in driving traffic. So those tools are usually very cost effective and can give you some really good insight. In terms of A/B and multivariate testing tools, so after you've got your data collection analytics tools in place and you're doing some of your implementation of the tactics that we've been through today, then you could move on to the next stage, which would be your multivariate testing. Again, so free or low cost tools available for that is VWO, Optimising, and Google also have a tool called Google Optimize. So these will help you when you get down to hypothesizing. So if you've got your live chat on, for example, you might find that there's a number of questions coming through that are quite similar. You might go, okay, I really want to just change that language on one of my call to action buttons, for example. This is where you use your VMO or your Optimising or your Google Optimize. And you can actually send 50% of your traffic to your existing homepage, and you can have a replicated homepage that actually changes that language on that call to action button. You can test that for a period of time. And once you start to get some clean data, you might go, oh my gosh, I'm getting much better click-throughs with that new copy on my call to action button. Now I'm going to implement that on my website. So that those tools are really, really good for that in terms of future hypothesizing and testing. Okay, are there any other questions? Okay. How do I use these tactics? Oh, here we go. So sorry, how, if yes, what are your favorites? How do I use these tactics if I sell food or if I'm a franchisee? Okay, so if you sell food or you're a franchisee, if you're talking about CRO tactics, I would see these applying to any business. Some tactics you might find aren't necessarily relevant, but if we go through some of the homepage tactics in terms of the funnel of the customer journey, understanding what your brand is about, call to actions above the headlines, all of those things absolutely apply to food. If you're a franchisee, I think that's going to depend on the flexibility that you potentially have if you're using a shared platform in terms of your e-commerce web space. Ideally, you could potentially present some of the tactics to your franchise or to see if there's some of these tactics that they can apply across the group. Because if your website doesn't currently have some of these tactics implemented, then I would believe that that would certainly be impacting on your conversion rate. So if they can share it with the group and that they can implement it across your all of the websites in the franchise group, fantastic. But definitely in terms of the food, I think the videos, product videos, all the different product imagery will definitely assist really understanding, what is the proposition, what is the value of, why is your offering different to other local offerings. So I would love to understand a little bit more. So please feel free to reach out to me, and I'd love to assist you on understanding. I have a few more questions to be able to answer that probably the best that I can. So please reach out if you have any questions that I can assist on. Okay. There's no more questions. So, so final question, I think. So what is a good timeline to see if our CRO tactics are effective? Okay, a very, very good question. I did mention earlier on that CRO is an ongoing process. And in terms of this, there's no hard and fast response, but basically it depends on the volume of traffic and the tactics that you have implemented. So for example, if you're a business generating maybe $10,000 online per month in sales, then implementing most of our tactics that we've discussed today, I would suggest at least 8 to 12 weeks to actually see an increase or a change in your conversion rate. However, once you've actually executed those tactics, in relation to, say, the call to action copy change that I mentioned, using that example, that would take a lot quicker than 8 to 12 weeks. But again, it really just depends on your traffic, because ultimately this is a data game, and it's about having enough data to make a decision. That means you're making the right decision based on the insights that you're receiving. So it's definitely, you'll get a better sense if you're not sure. So I'm currently running some CRO tactics for some of my existing clients. There's one particular one I've been doing, and I've just noticed that the differences aren't strong enough. So I'm going to run the project or this particular tactic for another month, because I want to be really sure that I'm making that decision based on the way people are, based on the customer behaviour. Okay, well, look, that looks like it's it for today. Many thanks again to Rebecca at the NRA and Christine from StraightArrow for having me here today. Don't forget that you can reach out to me for assistance on your CRO as an exclusive offer to the NRA members during this challenging time. I hope to have you all coming along to our next week's seminar on SEO and social content. Bye for now, and we'll see you next week.